Do you ever finish a meal, feel physically full, and then find yourself reaching for more food? Like your stomach is done, but you don't feel totally satisfied? I'm Dr. Lara Zibarras, psychologist and binge eating recovery coach. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why that happens and give you some practical tips to help when it does. So eating past the point of fullness isn't necessarily that you don't have enough willpower. It's your body and brain telling you something. And once you understand what that is, you can actually do something about it. There are a few reasons why this happens, and I'm going to go through these so that you understand a little bit more about what's going on. So the first thing to know is that fullness and satisfaction are not one and the same thing. Full and satisfied are genuinely different experiences, and your brain registers them differently. Fullness is physical. It's your brain registering that your stomach has actually expanded. And there are hormones like leptin and GLP-1 that signal to your brain that food has arrived in your stomach. But satisfaction is psychological, that feeling of I'm done. That comes from eating something that you really wanted to eat, and something that tastes good and felt right at that particular moment in time. So you can be completely full but have zero satisfaction. And when that happens, your brain keeps looking for more food. And one reason how people get disconnected from these cues is through restriction. So when you're dieting or cutting out food groups or telling yourself you're not allowed to eat certain foods, you're basically training your body to override signals of hunger and sometimes fullness. You ignore the hunger because often those diets or healthy eating plans encourage you to eat a lot less food. You get very good at drowning out those hunger signals. But then the problem is when you do eat food, and often if you've got really hungry, you end up overeating. So you eat past the point of fullness, and again, you start drowning out those signals. So your body kind of learns that it can't trust when food is going to be there. There's also the role of habit and conditioning. So you might have learnt or been told growing up that you have to eat everything off your plate. So again, you get used to drowning out those fullness signals. Or perhaps you're someone that does a little bit of mindless eating, so you eat a lot when you're distracted. You're either scrolling on your phone or watching telly or doing something else while you're eating. And again, that allows you to drown out your fullness signals. So here's a tip for you to implement. When you are eating, take a little bit of time to tune into your body. A good way to do this is at the beginning, the middle of and the end of when you're eating. So at the beginning, tune in, ask yourself, how hungry do I feel? What is that feeling actually like? Maybe around halfway through your meal, pause and tune in again. Am I still hungry? Am I still enjoying this food? Am I starting to feel fullness emerging? And then when you get to the end, do the same and ask yourself, how does that feel? Am I full? What does that feel like? Am I feeling satisfied? So this is a good way to start building that connection between you and your body. And just a quick side note here, I have a great free training on how to end binges and eating chaos. I have put the link in the description below, and includes in it a 3-step plan to help you feel normal around food. The second point to say is that the satisfaction gap is one of the reasons why you might be leaving your meals actually feeling like you want to have some more food. And it's often one of these overlooked pieces of the puzzle when people are wondering why they keep eating. So there's something in eating psychology called sensory specific satiety. So it's a little bit of a mouthful, but basically it's this idea that your brain is wired to stop wanting food once you've had enough of a specific flavour or texture or sensory experience. It's exactly why you could be eating a meal and say, I'm full, I don't have any room for any more. But as soon as dessert comes to the table, you're suddenly like, oh, I have a little bit of space for that pecan pie. It's a different sort of sensory experience, so it's a different satiety signal. And this matters because if you're someone who is having quite a restricted diet, so there's only a few safe foods, maybe you're eating the same thing day by day, or maybe you're meal prepping, and so every day for a week you have the same lunch or breakfast or dinner. So if those foods aren't exciting you or satisfying you, then that sensory specific satiety system, like I say, bit of a mouthful, doesn't actually get properly activated. So that kind of wanting doesn't switch off at the end of your meal. So you end up eating more and chasing that satisfaction factor. So I often hear this from clients when they say they really fancied, like, let's say, a bowl of ice cream at the end of a meal, but they've decided that ice cream is out of bounds, so they say to themselves, I'm not allowed to have it. So then they have instead maybe some yogurt or chopped apple. And then after that, they don't feel satisfied, so they have something else. And then they have something else, and then they have something else. They've ended up eating about 12 things because they haven't got that satisfaction that they want, and then end up eating the ice cream anyway after eating all those 12 things. They would have been better off in the first place just having the ice cream straight away. So enjoyment, that feeling of satisfaction, is actually a really important part of the eating experience, to feel like you are done at the end of a meal. So a tip to help here is to find something that really satisfies you. So if you are finding that you are eating quite repetitively, or you have quite a restricted diet, and then you're not feeling satisfied at the end of the meal, find something that you can add to your meals to make it more satisfying. So for example, maybe you can add a little bit of grated cheese on a salad, or add some chocolate chips to your oats in the morning, or raisins on your granola. Those small shifts in satisfaction actually change the amount you end up eating in the long run. My final point is to look at what your food is actually, or your meals are actually made of. So hitting the satiety and also variety. So when we think about satiety, actually how long we feel satisfied after we eat is actually to do with what we are actually eating in the first place. If you're eating a lot of meals that are low in protein and low in fibre, you'll probably find yourself quite hungry very soon after your meal. And then that drives that kind of continued grazing after the meal. So what you want to do is make sure that every meal or snack has a source of protein and a source of fibre, because both of those combined actually help you feel full and give you that sense of satiety. And the other thing to note is that variety is so important. Variety matters probably more than most people think it does. If you're eating the same thing on rotation, we get very bored very easily and leaves you constantly seeking something. So I really recommend changing up what it is you're eating, adding in variety, or if you are meal prepping, don't eat the exact same thing in it every day. Rotate it, freeze your meals so that you can have some variety in how you're eating. So my tip here is that next time you find yourself eating when you're not actually hungry, become curious rather than critical. Ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? Am I missing something? Was I not feeling satisfied after this meal? Sometimes adding more satiety enhancing foods like protein and fibre will help, or maybe having more variety. Or maybe you are literally just bored, or that the food that you're eating is not satisfying you. So if you are eating when you're full, you can use that as feedback. It's your body and brain flagging that something is missing, that it didn't quite hit the mark, that maybe it needs to be a bit more satisfying, or you need a bit more variety. So if you just take one thing from this video, that's honestly to eat in a way that actually satisfies you. And just a quick reminder that I have a free training which is all about ending binges and eating chaos. It gives you a 3-step plan to help get your act together around food, and the details are in the description below. So I recommend having a look at this video next. It is all about why you can't stop binge eating at night. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.